Okay, welcome to the spoiler section, where we get to talk about all the nitty gritty and Hellboy, so that you don't have to go and waste your money. Tell them what they're missing if they don't go see it.
So there's a 5-second throwaway scene where you see the pig dude talking to Baba Yaga, and he's like, I want to get revenge on Hellboy. And then Baba Yaga's like, oh, don't go dig up this woman. She's going to kill everyone on Earth, but she'll also, like, enslave Hellboy or something. So you're mad that you didn't get to be a part of the human race because he's a changeling or something. So kill literally every human, and that's his motivation. He wants to kill everyone on Earth.
And Baba Yaga's mad because at one point she tried to resurrect Stalin or some kind of murderous person from,
was it Stalin? Yeah, it was Stalin.
From Russia or something like that, because she's a Russian, lore and things like that. But he stopped her and stabbed her in the eye and took her eye, and she's really mad at him. So her secret plan is to unleash this crazy witch on the world, which will enslave Hellboy, and then I don't know, she'll get to dominate Hellboy. But then Hellboy is doing good and comes to her for help. No, she summons Hellboy to her realm and says, hey, we could do this deal where I'll tell you where she's at and how to defeat her if you give me your eye. And Hellboy's like, okay, I'll give you my eye.
But later, after I stop this woman.
And then she gets and then so they kiss each other, and like Baba Yaga's doing his nasty stuff on him. It's gross as fuck. But see, I mean, her Baba Yaga was a really good, creature design, and I thought
the design was cool.
Yeah, the demons were great.
Yeah, it was great. But, it's just a pointless thing, and their motivations are all messed up, and you're like, none of this makes sense.
Because if her plan goes, he becomes king of the Earth.
Yeah.
So her plan to get back at him is like, you got to kill everyone and be king of the Earth. Isn't that cool?
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Nothing makes sense in this movie.
And because he doesn't give her
You
her
think
eye.
about it too much.
Well, no, it's not too much. Where
does she get all the kids? She eats a lot of children in this movie. Where is she getting them?
She kidnaps them.
She's in a weird shadow realm. Like, there's children running around the shadow realm.
The Baba Yaga.
They see a cool house with, like, fucking chicken legs. And hey, what's
what's
there?
She prepares this massive feast in celebration of this witch coming back. And, Hellboy's looking at it, and there's, like, fingers and hands. And he's like, is this a child? And she's like, yeah, but it's just a human child. And then he looks back, and there's literally children hanging
from meat hooks.
From fucking meat hooks.
It's super surprising because it's like
lighthearted,
dismembered children. It's like, what the fuck did you take me to see?
Fuck? And then she's like eating it, and you're like, what is going on? And then she's licking his fucking face, and
she has a hairy tongue.
Crab walk, and she's got a hairy tongue, and
it's creepy.
You see the tone is all over the place, and a small part of me kind of appreciates this wacky, just fuck it. I don't give a shit that none of this stuff goes together, but they just do it anyway because, hey, the comics did it or something like that. And you know what? I'll say this up front. I never read the comics. I really enjoyed the Ron Perlman films. I liked the Hellboy character, but I didn't like it enough to go out and seek out and buy a bunch of Hellboy comics. So I can't tell you for sure whether it is like the comics, but it does feel like a comic where there's just one thing right after the other, and this is this world, and the world doesn't care whether you believe in it or not because all this stuff is there. And so for that sake, it's bold to do these things, but I just think it executes a lot of these things poorly. And Guillermo del Toro had the vision to do them in a believable and respectful kind of, really give it the gravitas that it needs, rather than just show it in full bad lighting. And you're like, that's cool, but could they have done that better?
They could have done a lot better.
Yeah.
A lot.
So,
here's the other thing that made us laugh.
This is
a different one. Whenever Alice, I guess the seer, she talks to dead people. Whenever she does, she pulls a haunted in Connecticut, and their ectoplasm comes out of her mouth.
It's super weird.
Yes.
It is so fucking stupid.
I was like, what the fuck is
like the
this?
first time she does it, she calls upon a ghost. I said, she literally vomits a ghost. And then the ghost is this form, and it's all, mucusy, and it's just floating from her mouth in a tentacle from her mouth. And you're like, whoa, like this might work better in the comics, but in live action, it looks goofy as shit. It looks like a bad green screen effect, and it looks goofy as shit. And they're supposed to, guess what the lines are? More exposition. Blah, 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 while their butts and their bodies.
And then Hellboy's talking to his dad at the end. The same thing happens. you just can't help but to laugh, and it's supposed to be a serious moment.
It's supposed to be the most touching thing where
But
the father's
His dad
like,
dies.
His
The
dad's
Witch of the
doing
Wood
some weird-ass
kills
shit.
him
yeah.
because she captured him in order to use him as leverage to make Hellboy her king to her queen.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to do it. Kills her father. Father falls down. Later on, the seer lady touches the father. And here comes the father. And it is this well-respected actor who is in John fucking Wick as this fucking badass assassin leader. And he's over here
Just like
with
naked.
mucus. Stop being a pussy. And you're like, what the fuck?
It's supposed to be endearing. It's supposed to be like the father. He actually, for the first time in the movie, he's like, "Oh, son, I love you. It's great. My greatest mission is for that I was your dad or something." But he spent the first 30 seconds being like, "You're whining. Stop whining. You're being a bitch." It's like, what?
And then he tries to, and then he puts on a serious fucking performance, and that's why, and he's trying to give the emotional gravity of the way. It's not
it
working
didn't
because
work.
the
It didn't
CGI
work at
effect
all.
looks so bad, and that's why I was thinking he probably filmed it and just, fine, he just filmed it, and then later on, he had no idea what they'd do to him later, and he's like, he looks at that horrified on, can I exit this project somehow before that comes out? No, unfortunately, it is on screen forever, and it is almost worth seeing that kind of disaster in the middle of a climax.
No, how dare
it
you?
was
Do
like-
not
I
see
know.
this movie.
It's honestly just like a wreck. You just can't help but to look at it. It's like, oh, this is, and it just gets worse and worse.
But there's dismemberment in the film. Basically, this witch her body parts are all over the damn place all the fucking time, and then they sew her up, and they really zoom in to the needles and the sewing her, and it's just graphic, it's gory, but it's in a film that doesn't play it for horror, doesn't play it in the appropriate way. So it's graphic and gory too. What is going on in the soundtrack? I think what's the greatest thing ever is that after all said and done, and they save the world, and basically Hellboy, grabs Excalibur. This is so stupid. So Merlin summons Hellboy and says, "You need to kill this witch," and he's still alive, by the way. He's old because we saw Merlin before.
She
That's how
cursed
this
him to
whole
live
thing
forever
started,
in
right?
a rock.
And he's like, "I summoned the last bit of my magic to bring Excalibur back. Take Excalibur and kill her." And he's like, "Okay." But he has this flash. If he takes Excalibur, then he becomes the Demon King, and he brings in the apocalypse, and he's riding on a demon.
That was cool. I like
that.
that.
was cool. That's what I'm saying. They
Yeah.
take that small scene and put it somewhere else. And the CGI is not that bad.
Well,
Alex,
no,
but-
that part's good, but when
Yeah.
he lands on the ground, he's slicing up the humans. The humans look
humans
like
look terrible.
Scorpion King bad.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, that's true. But anyway, so he's like, "No, I'm not going to take it." And then the sword fades out, and Merlin's like, "No, you idiot, you fool! That was the last of my magic, and I'm going to fade away. And at least I won't see this world die." And then he fucking falls apart again. And then I think he turns into
does.
a
He
little moth.
turns into a moth.
The moth is flying off, and as the scene transition, we go from this scene to London and some other part of London, and a bird comes by and fucking
eats
Merlin.
I'm telling you, it's like
Can you give me another one of these, please? Like, if we're going to talk about this more.
Oh my God, you finished that whole fucking thing. So,
there's
so
some
he
parts
dies,
you're just like,
but then
what
later
the fuck? I looked at you. We were just like, did this just happen?
we looked at each other. What the fuck? And look back at the screen. Because just a few minutes later, then Hellboy's like, "Okay, I'm going to take the fucking sword." And so Merlin's sacrifice was for nothing. And then Merlin sacrificed the last of his magic to bring the sword to that area. But the sword was literally 10 feet away the whole time. So Merlin sacrificed himself for nothing because the sword was hiding under the church the whole time. And apparently the evil blood witch knew that the whole time. And she kills his father. And that's what pisses him off enough to bring the Excalibur sword. But as I'm explaining it, it sounds cool, but it's executed so poorly. And so he does it anyway. So Merlin sacrifices for nothing. And then he is overcome by demon, and he turns in. He gets a little bigger, bigger, gets a little bulkier, and he goes to her. She's like, yes, come to me, yes. And then he's like standing over her. She's like, yes, fulfill your destiny, and you're going to do all this stuff. And then his dad is like, don't do that stuff or something. I don't fucking know.
Well,
and then he cuts her head off.
Yeah. Earlier in the film, the dad.
And as he cuts her head off, her head is like, no! As it's flying through the air, the bad CGI effect, no, please. Because, so it's like, oh my God, you combine the worst CGI with the worst acting.
He grabs her head, throws her into the lava.
No, he throws her into hell.
Oh, yeah. And then she, keeps talking.
She's like, no, don't do this.
He's like, quit while you're ahead.
He laughed.
That made me laugh.
This guy laughed.
That was
made
so
me laugh.
stupid.
It was so corny.
It was so stupid.
Right
I
in the
laughed.
Middle, right in the middle of the
I was
climax.
like, you gotta be.
But I do think that's kind of something that Hellboy would do in the comics. He might say something like that, But I don't know because I've never really read it.
So poorly.
I never really read a bunch of them, but. Basically, worse supporting cast than the original, worse acting than the original.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that guy. He's like, "Oh, you're a monster, stupid monsters. You need
there
to go
was
back
no
to
reason.
Your cage."
Oh, the Catman. His secret is he can turn into a cat.
He's
the lone survivor of this one predator that killed his whole squad. But he isn't the lone survivor because it's the predator that survived within him, or what? I don't know. But he's apparently the predator.
But he has the Hulk power where he takes all of his clothes, he explodes out of his clothes,
he gets
and then the second he turns back into a human, his pants are on magically every time.
Well, so
stretchy pants.
He has very stretchy pants.
The one character that I did like, the pig, gets buffed up from the witch when she returns to her full powers, because he wants to beat up on Hellboy. Because when he was a little kid, he tried to be a changeling and swap out the baby because he wanted a life for his own. He wanted to be a human and be
live in the light and be loved.
And I thought this character was awesome. He had like a little bit of an arc, and you could tell. And I was a tortured soul, and I was hoping maybe he might get a redemption arc or something. But no, the Wood Witch just fucking makes him explode. And I was hoping she'd turn him into a little baby and then he'd run off. Maybe we'll see him again, and he could still
like a little baby running out of a church with like demons outside.
Yeah, little baby pig, that he is.
Oh, okay.
And then he explodes, and I'm like, fuck. But earlier than that, she makes him buff so he can fight Hellboy. He's kicking Hellboy's ass, and that's when the Cheetah's guy's like, okay, I get to finally turn into the Cheetah. And he turns into the Cheetah, gets his fucking ass kicked. And it's like, what's the point of you turning into the Cheetah in the first place? You just distracted him for a little bit, maybe. Maybe that was the point. And then Hellboy is like, essentially wins. Or doesn't win. She comes over and says, "You're useless. I gave you." He's like, "But you promised you'd give me power." And she's like, "Oh,
he didn't want to kill the entire world. He just wanted revenge against Hellboy." And I wish they had explained that and developed that a little bit more. That he goes, "Wait a minute. I didn't say I wanted to kill literally every human being on Earth."
No, he doesn't care.
Yeah, but I mean that's.
I thought he was. It was funny. He's the most fleshed out character of them all.
Yeah.
And he gets a terrible ending, and he fucking dies. And I was like, fuck this movie. And but I had said fuck this movie so many times before then. But that was just the nail in the coffin. The Merlin part, the Merlin moth part.
Well, what about Lobster Johnson? What did you think of Lobster Johnson?
My God.
I liked Lobster Johnson in the stupid, ridiculous comic book way. He's obviously a throw up to Captain America.
So dumb.
Y'all didn't like Lobster Johnson?
The second
like,
they did the
feel my
flashback.
claw. And he's got this stupid little burner thing in the shape of a lobster claw, and he burns people with it.
It was so
And
so
he shoots
bad.
people really good, and he's just, oh, man. It was terrible.
It was.
It was the
And
guy
that-
from Wings, and he was also in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, he was
Sandman.
Sandman in Spider-Man 2.
Ugh.
Anyways, the two after credit scenes. The first one is Hellboy gets to meet his favorite hero, which is Lobster Johnson, and he's in the graveyard mourning over his dad, crying and moping, and
Bitching again.
He's literally going. And then Lobster Johnson's like, suck it up, boy, or something.
Your
like
dad
that.
wouldn't want to see you bitching. And he's like, yes,
Moaning.
that's the last scene. We saw the last scene where your dad said, stop bitching.
I'm a huge fan. Can I ask you for questions? Like, yeah, everybody wants to see it.
Yeah, there
The
it is,
claw.
my lobster, the burning claw. And he's like, get back in the fight, son. And then he's like, all right. And then we realize, well, it's like, wait a minute. He looks exactly like he did back in the day when Hellboy was a little baby and he was shooting Nazis and shit. And he walks right through Hellboy, and he's a ghost. He was just a ghost just hanging out in the fucking same graveyard. And you're like, okay. And Hellboy's like, all right, I love you and whatever.
And then he starts freaking out. It's like, Why? You're
Right.
a fucking demon.
Oh, Hellboy was freaking out. Yeah.
You're a demon. You've seen demons. You've seen ghosts.
You're related to King Arthur, and you're also like the son of this
So
major
that's the big
demon.
reveal, is that the bloodline of Arthur was passed down, and he had daughters, and then the daughters had daughters, and then this daughter had a demon lover.
Yeah, she had a demon.
Sex with
yeah,
a demon.
that was really creepy too.
Did they imply that the demon raped her? or
No,
something?
no. She's like, no. She
Oh,
used to
she
ride the
married
demon,
him.
and then she
Okay.
married the demon, and
She
like
was riding the demon for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how
And
babies
then-
are made.
That's how babies are made. And so here comes Hellboy. So Hellboy is actually bloodline, and he could pull the sword from the stone. That's why he's able to pull the sword from the stone. And technically, he's like the king of England. And she's at the end of the film. She's Alice was like, "So you're the king of England now?" He's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Huh? I didn't see that coming." And I didn't expect them to integrate, the Excalibur storyline in here as the way
had
they
to
did.
do
We saw a
something.
little bit of the trailer, but I didn't expect that. And isn't it so weird that every time they try to do something with Excalibur, it fucking fails? Like it just does not work, and that sucks because I really like the
Like your
lore.
movie?
No. So
Excalibur?
my movie Excalibur was a success.
Okay.
But ever since then, it has not worked out. Yeah, Patrick Stewart was in that fucking shit. And Merlin was like, never again. Still love those lines. Love that film so much. With their, slamming each other with armor, and it's like so awkward. Cling. They had no fight choreography in
Just
that film,
hit
by
each
the way.
other.
That's what they said. They turned on the camera and everyone was hitting each other. There was no fight choreography.
would
That's why
love
it
to
looked
do
that
that.
way. But I almost think that's how medieval combat was back then, because they're literally just hitting. They have to find the weak points and then, shove the sword in there.
That's why-
Anyways, that's a different film, a much better film. Go see Excalibur instead of seeing this shit, because this was awful.
Yeah.
Any other spoilers, maybe pertaining to this Alice character? When they first met, you said something about
it was
she
weird.
was like
Well,
leaning over.
So the
Showing her
Hellboy
tits.
is like dead in a field. He just fights some giants and is almost dead. Like they betrayed Hellboy, and then he has to fight 3 giants. And then this chick just shows up. She's a spirit medium, and so I don't know if like spirits told her to go rescue him. But then he wakes up in her
There's
apartment.
no explanation for why she's there.
No, none at all. And so she's there. And she's cooking, and she's like leaning over, and it's like, we don't know who this is. And you're like, oh, is this like this weird sexual tension? And she's like leaning over and like showing down her shirt. And there's this really awkward cut in the film, and he said something creepy like, "Oh, Alice, you've grown up so much." And then
You thought it was gonna go boom,
well, they
and then
cut.
turn
There's a
into-
weird cut and like a very strange transition.
There's
where
a
it's
sex
like,
scene
It's like
between
I don't
them.
know what they cut out, but I'm horrified based on how they
Yeah.
executed everything else.
Leave
They,
it to
there was
your
because he known her
imagination.
from a little girl, and
he
had, like,
rescued
saved
her as a baby. And then
yeah.
they tell us that 5 minutes, 10, 15 minutes later that he rescued her as a baby, and the imposter baby was like the boar guy, and that explains why he's mad at Hellboy.
I don't think that's her. That was not her.
No, it is her.
No, it wasn't.
The baby? It's
Yeah, the
100%
baby was
Alice.
a boy. That
No,
was a baby
that's
boy.
no, because it shows
That
the
was her?
it
That
shows
was-
the parents. Yeah, that's 100.
That
That's
was
her.
the same.
That was a different person.
apartment
He
complex.
rescues her as a baby. That's why it's
Oh,
super
that's why
creepy.
they tied in. That's tied
I was
in
like,
so
that was
weird.
the same
Then why
apartment
was there-
complex.
Then why was there sexual tension
I
between
don't
them? That's
know.
awful. What the fuck, movies? Disgusting. That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah.
Apparently, Hellboy is attracted to little babies that he saved, and that's messed up.
Well, that's why they explained, like, ever since she was kidnapped by fairies, that's why she got the power, because she was kidnapped as the baby, and the boar was the person, and it was bad.
Oh, I
Yeah.
did go to the bathroom at one point. I was like, you know what? I tried not to go to the bathroom, but I'm like, fuck this.
You missed nothing
I missed
important. Like
nothing
nothing
important.
about this movie is important. Please don't see this. This is one of those things where studios will continue to make shit until people say enough is enough. I'm not going to see it. And
We're
this
gonna
is
get to that
beyond that line. This is to the point where it's like no more bad comic book adaptations. Stop it.
Yeah, I don't understand why this exists. If I would have much rather have had Hellboy 3, or if you're going to reboot
Everyone
it, you
would.
needed to reboot it with far more love and care and attention to the subject matter and the lore, and not just rush through everything and give us sort of this, pulpy thing that just doesn't work. It's so jam stuffed with crap that it just doesn't work, unfortunately.
It was rated R too.
Yeah, it had to have
yeah.
been with
Well,
everything
for the
they fucking
violence,
showed.
but I'm curious. It's like if it's rated R, why not lean into it and make it a
Why
more
not lead
serious
into the horror film?
Yeah, and just like make it a more serious and violent movie that maybe will make somebody
are constantly
happy.
cracking jokes. That's why.
You can,
And
do,
it just
Yeah,
didn't
you
work
can do
here.
humor and horror.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
You can.
Yeah.
So yeah, after that, the last one. If you want to stick around for the post
Oh yeah.
post
It's not
credit,
worth it. It's not worth
Do
it.
not.
It's
no.
Baba Yaga, and she's still mad that Hellboy is still not giving her eye. So she's hiring somebody to kill him, and she implies that it's that one German guy that we've seen with the blades and the gas
Assassin.
mask, and he's an assassin, and he just is unable to die. He wants to die. She's like, I'll grant you your wish if you can go and kill Hellboy, if you can kill him. And they never fucking show him. They don't show him right there, so you have no idea what he's talking about. Or actually, no, it might be a different character. She might be implying a different character who is undead and undying. But I thought it was that character.
I thought so
But now
too.
it doesn't match up to me.
But
It doesn't
who,
seem-
honestly?
But I wouldn't
who
put it past
cares?
this film. I wouldn't put it past this film to talk about a character that was standing there for 5 seconds, whereas he was much cooler in the
They probably got
Guillermo
cut
del
out
Toro film.
somewhere. I
It
don't
hasn't
know.
earned the brain space, so we'll forget about it. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Anyways,
We'll forget about
awful.
this soon.
Forget about the film because it's not worth your time. Wait till it comes out. Have a laugh. When
And
it
if
comes
you
out.
did see it, sorry.
We
Find a
feel your
way
pain.
to watch it where they don't know.
We feel your pain. All right, if you did see it.
Like
All
go
right.
to watch it in a room with like 30 other people, so they only think that one person's watching it because this movie is bad.
Okay. And did you guys have anything else to say so I don't talk over y'all or cut y'all off?
I think we talked about everything. Unless you want to talk about the Secret Society.
Which oh no.
The Secret Society was stabbing
Did you
him.
want to talk about?
I
the-
was surprised by that scene. That was one. I was like, oh, you got me. They go out hunting giants. But I knew something was wrong because I was like, okay, that's fucking stupid. They're like, we need your help because there are 3 giants we need to kill. We've been killing giants for centuries. And he's like, why do you need me? And he's like, well, there's not just one giant. There's 3. We might be able to handle 2. But 3, that we need your help.
But they don't go
That
out
sounded
with.
so stupid. But 3, whoa.
Oh, that's too many giants.
Too many giants.
We're not going to bring guns or rockets or a tank or a helicopter or any of those
honor.
things. We're going to go out on.
Honor society.
Yeah, we're
right?
going to go on horseback. I'm going to wear you. I know. I heard you,
You
laughing.
couldn't stop
The-
laughing.
The deer head thing.
Yeah,
It was so
oh,
stupid.
how could I forget that? That's what made me laugh the most in the movie. The head master of this knight guy with his badass armor and his fucking gadgetry and shit. And then he's
Spear
got a
with,
fucking
bolts.
deer head, but the deer head is like massive on his head. Looks like a big old fucking buffalo or something. with
It
huge
reminded
head.
me
And
of
it
like
just
Monty
sounds-
Python, right? Like the Nights You Say Neat. It
Yeah.
was like this giant thing on his head.
Yeah, and it made me laugh because he's delivering
exactly what they
serious
were.
dialogue in the British, voice, and I was just laughing my fucking ass off because
It's like, dude, you can't be serious with a fucking
Yeah.
deer head on.
and they stab Hellboy. They betray him. They weren't really going after giants, except for they were. But they thought that they'd kill Hellboy first because they learned that he is the one that's supposed to herald in the apocalypse, and they were not. How do you think you can be king of London? We've been protecting London. And then the guy gets punched because the giants actually do show up. Then we have a terrible CGI fight. Yep. All right.
So that's the movie.
So that happened.
That's
yeah.
the film.
was
And
great.
yeah, please skip it, guys, because you'll save some money. You're welcome. And another thing, why the fuck did all the demons, remember when all the demons and all the creatures were at the base of the tree and they showed up because she got our full power and they're like, yeah, we're going to fight the humans. And she gives the worst fucking speech I've ever heard. I'm laughing my ass off. And then Hellboy comes up and shoots her eye out. Little eyeballs hanging out.
I literally thought it was gonna be a 3D movie because like she's looking down at the camera. It's like a slinky. I'm
And
like,
she starts talking to him as it's like bouncing.
But all the demons and the creatures are like, oh shit, and they ain't never seen anything more grotesque, and they start fucking running. They take off down the hill, and if they would have waited literally 1 or 2 more seconds, she just goes zzz, and she fucking auto heals, and they would have been like, wow, this bitch is super powerful. Let's go beat up fucking Hellboy. But you know why they didn't?
money.
They couldn't afford
Yeah,
it.
they literally couldn't afford the
CGI
troll battle.
fight.
They
No.
literally couldn't have fucking afford that shit.
That was so bad. Oh god.
What was his obsession with stabbing everybody in the eye?
He stabs every single monster in the eye. Who's
or
the first?
shooting in the eye or focusing.
He has we find out that he's shot out Baba Yaga's eye.
Yes.
He stabs the pig guy's eye. There is the blood witch's eye. He stabs the giant
It's
in
his
the
fetish.
eye. Like he has an eyeball fetish, and it's kind of weird.
The giant Baba Yaga, the Blood Queen, probably numerous enemies in the past. And another thing that was so bad, did you guys notice this? In the giant scene, his fist is closed the whole time, and it just looks like a fucking bad
giant.
prop.
He punched the giant in the eye.
He already called
he
out
stabs the giant in the eye.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
called
stabs
out
everybody.
that
in
was so bad. And he's
But
like,
his fist is closed the whole time, so most of the film he cannot actually operate his hand like the other film, like Guillermo del Toro. It's only when they use CGI where he like holds onto a tree branch or something. Is cheap.
So you're saying this is like bad good almost?
No, how dare
I
you?
was
I'm
saying-
tired of turning off the camera and then having to turn on the camera later on because you guys come up with all the funniest things afterwards. But we had to call out that stupid scene, her stupid fucking speech, the fact that all the creatures run
eyeballs.
away.
There's
the
thousands.
3D
It looks
eyeball,
like it's like
him
1,000
poking
trolls,
everybody,
right?
Yeah. They could have overwhelmed Hellboy
Easy.
and fucking killed him, but they ran away because she got shot. They should have just waited.
He almost died to like 7 English dudes with a Ghostbuster backpack and spears.
Yeah.
Like in the very beginning of the movie, you're just like, all right, he lost because they have proton packs.
They fucking betrayed him. Those guys came
Stupid
very close
giants.
to killing. Stupid giants. They came very close to killing him. The giants. No, the dudes with the backpack.
Yes.
Yeah,
Why do you think the giants are stupid?
because they look terrible.
They did look terrible, and then he used their weapons
they
against them.
interrupted the society from killing Hellboy.
You wanted them to kill Hellboy?
Yes.
Yeah.
If the movie had ended then, it would have been great. It wouldn't have been a great movie. It's just been great for me because it would have done so many more things.
God damn.
So yeah.
Yeah. Don't see this movie, please.
Or yeah, I don't know.
Because if you do, I'll have to see the sequel, and it'll make
Oh.
me sad.
There is absolutely
gonna be
no
no-
chance there's going to be a sequel.
don't
They
think so.
baited for the sequel so hard.
Oh, yeah.
though.
They did.
And Abe Sapien's coming back because that's what one of the. Did we even talk about that Abe's coming
yeah,
back?
We did talk. We mentioned it very lightly. But why would you get rid of the fan favorite character? And then they knew it was fan favorite because they teased him at the
Yeah,
end.
they just replaced him.
Why the fuck would you try to do
don't
that?
know
You thought it
why.
was that important that he'll carry the sequel? Well, you ain't even getting a sequel because you left him out of the first one and it was fucked. They focused much more on Hellboy, giving his character time to develop, and his character never fucking developed. You realize that Hellboy has no fucking arc in this movie.
Yeah.
No, he
He's
whined
still
after his
whiny
father
bitch
was
at the
dead. He
end.
whined at the very. It's a post credit scene,
Flat.
right?
Yeah.
Where Lobster Johnson's like, "You need to quit bitching."
Yeah.
That's a post credit scene.
All right, woo! Hellboy is the best. Hellboy.
Let's go see it again.
I hate
No,
you.
hell no. We
Come
would see it
on.
again at the Dollar Theater with a bunch
So
of
you
alcohol.
will see it.
So, are you guys saying it's a good bad movie?
No,
It's fucking
no,
good bad.
it's not
There's
good.
so
bad.
many fucking crazy things in this
There
film. We
is.
forgot about the witch's sister. Remember the witch's sister betrayed her, put the fucking crown
3
on her
witches
head.
sisters, and the 2 of them
And
get
then
like twisted and like
like
crumpled.
real
was-
fucking
yeah.
graphic.
It was really cool, but
and
then
she doesn't do
The
anything.
graphics alone are enough to go see it at a cheap
Right.
showing.
there.
That's
do
about
not
it.
spend more than $2.
Yeah, no full price on this.
Oh, now we told you, don't go waste your money. Now we're telling you, waste your money if you want to see a train wreck.
That's because we
But
upgraded
no-
from beer to whiskey. So
know that it's gonna be a train wreck if you go and do that.
Yes.
And then I think your expectations will be set good. If you go in there knowing this is gonna be dumb to laugh at, then you'll be laughing at it and it'll be dumb,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, okay, I see what Joe's talking about, because it's fucking terrible. All right, so that's it, and I guess from now on, I'm gonna turn the camera back on, and we're gonna fucking talk,
That's usually
and
what
I'm just
happens.
gonna stick it at the end. I don't care.
That's fine.
Okay.
after the like and subscribe or before?
Yeah, I don't know because it depends on how long the videos are.
Your
I might have to-
jacket's gone.
I know. I might have to say I'm not fancy no more. I might have to set it. I might have to break it up into 2 videos if it gets to 45 to an hour. If it's
I
under
hope
30.
Yeah, hopefully-
not. This movie does not deserve
Well, I'm
45
know.
hoping it
Nobody's
doesn't
gonna
get
watch it.
claimed.
Nobody watch it. Oh yeah, my
Yeah,
fucking
that
Lionsgate.
guy-
Oh
that guy's
shit!
gonna watch
if
it.
you if that one guy at Lionsgate,
I watch
if you
it, Joe.
fucking claim this
Claimed.
video, fuck you. I will fight that shit in court. Because you know what, Joe? I'm not gonna include a single clip from the film. I'm not gonna include anything. I'm gonna include a picture of the poster. You come after me for a picture of the poster, we throwing fucking down, dude. I will fight you on the side of the street, motherfucker.
Oh, whiskey makes him violent.
Yeah.
All right.
All
We're done.
All right.
Woo-hoo. We're done. See you guys on the next Angry Joe show.
Strong, huh?
Thank you so much for watching, and we shall see you on the next Angry Joe show.
Make sure that you click subscribe.
Yeah, and check out the link below and get yourself some
I'm
nice
wearing
merch.
my jersey right here. You can even wear it with a blazer. Looks a little ridiculous,
Fancy.
but it still looks
No, it's
badass.
fancy.
Yeah, it's
Fancy badass.
It's-
badass fancery. Fancy badassery. See you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.